I am a 38-year-old man who is in desperate need of some advice and maybe a little bit of judgment. Recently, I kicked my wife Samantha, 38, female, and my stepdaughter Hannah, 16, female, out of my house. Before you start making judgments right away, please hear me out. My wife and I have been together for a very long time. I have been in Hannah's life since she was 8. She may not be my daughter, but I treated her like one. I'm infertile, can't have children, so I was sort of thrilled when I started to date Samantha. She was a single mother who had a kid with her ex-boyfriend from years ago. They were never married. They pretty much didn't have any relationship when I met Samantha. As we started to date, she introduced me to her daughter and made it clear that they were a package deal. I was thrilled to have them both in my life. Hannah was receptive towards me and didn't have a problem with her mother being with me. After I married Samantha, I started to treat Hannah just like my daughter. I never pressured her to call me dad or anything. I wasn't there to replace her bio father. I only wanted to have some sort of semi-parent relationship with her, which I did have. My own father bailed on me, so I was determined to do it all for Hannah and expect nothing in return. I would say that the two of us had a pretty good relationship up until a few months ago. Hannah suddenly started to be rude towards me and snapped at me for apparently no reason. While I felt hurt and sometimes disrespected, I always forgave her and didn't make a fuss. I chalked it up to teenage hormones or something like that. But what happened a few days ago absolutely ruined me inside. Hannah recently got into a bad car accident and unfortunately received the majority of her injuries. She was out riding with a friend when another car crashed into them. Due to the impact, Hannah's legs were severely injured and she more or less became bedridden. While my wife was out dealing with the legal aspects of things, I started to care for Hannah to the best of my abilities. I actually switched to night shift so that I could take care of her during the day. My wife, unfortunately, couldn't switch shifts like me, so she stayed the night. Suddenly, switching to night shift and then staying up to take care of Hannah took a huge toll on me. But I smiled through it all because I was doing it for Hannah. I was just glad that she was getting better and wanted to do everything possible to make sure she was comfortable. Turns out, all these things weren't enough for her. About 5 nights ago, I came home from work early after a colleague offered to cover my shift so that I could catch up on some sleep. I was about to surprise my wife and stepdaughter, but I guess I was the one who ended up being surprised. To be honest, it was more of a bad shock. I overheard Hannah ranting to my wife about how I was a useless man who didn't do enough for her. She started to say that her bio father would have done so much more, and my lame attempts at looking after her were just annoying. She told me that my father left me because I was an annoying and useless man, so he didn't want to call me his son. She said a lot more hurtful things that I won't repeat here. Maybe it was because I was tired and sleep deprived, but I just couldn't digest the disrespect anymore. I went into her room and began yelling about how she was being a disrespectful brat when I was doing everything possible to look after her. I didn't expect her to double down on me and say even more hurtful things, basically telling me that I was useless, pathetic, and a bad partner for Samantha. There was a screaming match and my wife did nothing to intervene or stop it. After about 10 minutes of this, I had had enough and told Hannah that she could leave my house if my care wasn't good enough for her. That set my wife off and she got super angry at me. She never said a word to Hannah and basically blamed me for going after a teenager who isn't even my kid. I was stunned to see that my wife was doing nothing to defend me or even acknowledge that I was sacrificing a lot for them both. In a fit of anger, I told them both to get out of my house the next day. Samantha and Hannah pretty much left the house before I woke up the next morning. I was still hurt and heartbroken by Hannah's words, so the anger was still there. But then I opened my phone and saw a lot of angry texts from Samantha. She was basically telling me to get over myself and apologize for kicking them out. She told me that a real man would be unaffected by a teenager's tantrum, and if I had actually cared about Hannah, I wouldn't have retaliated. I also got some phone calls from my wife's parents who have been telling me that I'm a monster for doing what I did. It's been over 4 days, and they haven't stopped harassing me or blowing up my phone with horrible texts. No one is even willing to consider my feelings. No one is on my side. I am being told that I overreacted and did something unforgivable. Samantha and Hannah are staying with my in-laws, so I know they are safe. I really needed them out of the house that day because I couldn't tolerate the disrespect anymore. I have been working myself to the bone, sacrificing sleep to do the best for my family, and this is what I got in return. I feel like no one is hearing me out right now. I feel so lost. Their horrible words are now making me feel bad about everything. Did I really do something wrong? I know it probably wasn't a good idea to kick out my injured stepdaughter like that, but I was angry and heartbroken. I seriously would have forgiven her if she had admitted that she was wrong. She just kept doubling down and said those awful things right to my face without any remorse. How can I forgive that? Everyone on my wife's side is calling me selfish, pathetic, and a waste of space. Now, I am really second-guessing myself and thinking that I should have done things differently. What do you guys think? Please tell me. AITA? Edit. I see that a lot of you have been asking about Hannah's bio father and what he's doing in all of this. Well, he has never really been in the picture, so I don't know what to tell you guys. He literally stopped visiting Hannah when she was 6. For most of her life, Hannah didn't have a father figure. My wife's ex is literally a deadbeat and has never paid child support. I don't know for sure if he has given up his right to Hannah, but I do know he hasn't been in the picture for a long, long time. I think most of Hannah's words come from wishful thinking because she had been sad that her bio father wasn't in her life, and no, I never tried to replace her father in any way. She has been with me for over 7 years now. She may not see me as her father, but I see her as my child. I never expected her to call me dad or anything of the sort. I was happy with whatever little affection I got from her. I have always been extra careful of her boundaries and never did anything to make her feel like I was replacing her father. I have been doing exactly what Hannah and my wife wanted. In return, I had expected at least some basic respect. I guess that was too much to ask. Update 1. Wow, I am starting to realize that I never needed to second guess myself at all. The census has been overwhelming, and I see that most of you think that I'm NTA. I actually feel relieved that you guys have agreed with my stance. Some of you have been spot on with the assumption that I'm a people pleaser. It doesn't help that my own father was never in my life, so I did my best to be a good stepfather to Hannah. I guess I put in way too much effort. Sometimes being a step-parent can be a thankless job. I see that very clearly right now. It's just that everything seemed so normal until that day I overheard Hannah and Samantha talking about me. I keep feeling like I destroyed my life and marriage by hearing something that wasn't meant for me. It's good that I got to know my worth to them, but it still hurts like hell sometimes. I'm trying my best to get over what happened. One thing I know for sure is that I really need to put a pause on my marriage. I know that many of you have been telling me to get a divorce, but I really want to give this another chance before calling quits for good. Yes, my wife should have supported me, but I also get where she's coming from. She's a mother and she didn't want to go against her sick daughter. Honestly, I'm a little shocked that she didn't show me any support at all. I'm also shocked that Hannah faked being nice to me for 7 years and then suddenly felt like she didn't need to hide her real feelings anymore. All this is very weird. I don't know where all this hostility is coming from. I have been thinking about this sudden change of behavior a lot, and I genuinely need to know if I am missing something. Maybe some of you will be disappointed in me, but I am considering meeting with Samantha to discuss what's going on. Don't worry, I won't apologize for being upset and all. You guys have already convinced me that I didn't do anything wrong, no matter how much my wife tries to villainize me. I will stay firm on my stance. I also plan to talk to my in-laws to see why they have suddenly turned against me like this. I suspect that my wife hasn't given them the whole story. Maybe I will set up a meeting with them as well. I don't know, guys. I thought that maybe knowing that I am NTA would make me feel better and solve some of my problems. Some of your theories have really wrecked me. I'm almost too afraid to think about these possible theories. I sincerely hope that nothing fishy is going on and I haven't been betrayed by my wife and stepdaughter in more ways than one. I feel very let down by my wife and I want her to realize her wrongs and maybe accept that she has messed up. As for my stepdaughter, I really don't know what to think or feel. I have practically helped raise her for the last 6 years. So, even if I am heartbroken, I find it difficult to completely stop caring about her. That doesn't mean I will forgive her or let this go. You guys have really shown me that Hannah didn't even give me basic respect or acknowledge all the sacrifices I made for her. It's sort of useless to care about someone when they think I'm insignificant in their life. So, even if I am in the right, I'm still in a lot of dilemma about what to do now. If you have some advice for me, please tell me. It will be very helpful for me. Update 2. I just got a message from Hannah. I hadn't blocked anyone on my phone because I wanted to keep communications open. Hannah hadn't really sent me many texts since that night, so I was a little surprised to receive a message from her. What surprised me even more was that she wanted to meet me. She literally left this message for me. I'm going to write it down word for word here. I know I'm the last person you want to talk to right now, but please meet me if you can. I really need to talk to you. I will come wherever you want me to. I will have my friend take me there. It will be just you and me. I don't want to say anything over text. Please just meet me once. I know I'm in no place to make any requests, but I am desperate. I promise I won't bother you again. Just hear me out this one last time. This was the message she sent me. I won't lie, but I immediately got curious about why she suddenly changed her tone. Maybe many of you will be mad at me, but I agreed to meet with her. I have been thinking about a lot of things lately. The change in Hannah really took me by surprise. I had questioned myself a lot over the past few days to see exactly how much of a doormat I have been. To be very honest, Hannah hadn't been very disrespectful or ungrateful towards me before. She was truly a nice kid, and that's one big reason why I started to embrace her as a bonus child in my head. This change in her is really concerning for more reasons than one. Now that she actually wants to talk to me, I really want to hear her out. I think I might be able to get to the bottom of this and find out more about what's going on. I'm sorry if you guys are disappointed in my decision, but I think it's really important for me to meet with Hannah. We are supposed to meet up tomorrow in whatever place Hannah thinks is accessible for her right now. I will come back and give an update once I talk to her. Update 3. Hi there. It's been a week already since my last update. I have been receiving Countless DMs from people who are genuinely trying to help me. You guys have given me some solid advice about what to do or how to proceed. There were some trolls who called me spineless and a simp, among other colourful things. I don't know why you guys are wasting your time on someone who is a lowly person in your eyes. Just laugh away and move on if you think this is all a joke. If you can't give me genuine advice, don't bother leaving unhelpful comments and DMs. And if you are here to laugh at my ruined life, maybe this update will make you super happy. In my last update, I told you guys that Hannah and I were going to meet up. That already happened and it didn't go well at all. Remember how I told you guys that I wanted to talk to my wife and maybe my in-laws about what happened? Ending a marriage is a big step and I needed to consider all aspects before making that call. Most of you will be happy to know that I have already made plans to leave my wife. Samantha has literally left me with no choice now. Hannah told me some very shocking things at the meeting which made me seal my decision. A lot of you guys had called it in my first post itself. I was too pathetic to accept their doubts. Yes, I thought about it a lot, but was convinced that Samantha wouldn't betray me like this. Well, she did. She cheated on me with her worthless ex. Just for the sake of the post, let's call him Dave. When I went to see Hannah, she broke down and told me everything. She brought her best friend along because she still needs help navigating. I'm not going to lie, but it seemed like Hannah's best friend seemed pretty sad about everything, too. So Hannah was pretty much crying the entire time. She kept apologizing for her comments and kept telling me that she knows she messed up. I took some time to explain my own feelings and how hurt I felt. When she talked crap about me, my speech kind of made her more upset, and she was practically hysterical at that point. I didn't want to make a scene anymore, so I was getting ready to leave. And that's when she dropped the bombshell about Samantha and Harry. I can't relay everything word for word here, but I will give you a gist of what Hannah told me. 1. Samantha and Dave had been having an affair for the past year. Yes, 1 whole year and more. 2. 6 months ago, Samantha convinced Hannah to meet up with Dave and keep everything a secret from me. 3. Dave had repeatedly painted himself as the ultimate hero father, and me as the villain stepdad who would never take care of her as her bio father would. Hannah unfortunately drank it all up because she was that desperate to have her father in her life. 4. Hannah slowly got brainwashed by Dave, who kept telling her stories about how he would get custody of her and take care of her like a real father should. He kept bad-mouthing me, which made Hannah distance herself from me as well. 5. Hannah was actually going to a restaurant with Dave when the crash happened. Yeah, the friend thing was a lie. She was out with Dave, who doesn't even have a license anymore. 6. After Hannah got bedridden, Dave still kept in touch and continued dissing me for everything I did. He convinced Hannah that Dave would have done more for her. Hannah lashed out at me that night, and after I kicked her out, she fully expected Dave to take her in and take care of her like she kept telling her. Of course, none of that happened. 7. Apparently, Dave refused to take Hannah and Samantha in, and went on to block the 2 of them when I sent them out of the house. That's when Hannah and Samantha realized that Dave is still a deadbeat, and the only father figure who actually cared about her was me. That's why she reached out and wanted to meet with me to apologize and come clean about everything. I couldn't get a lot of details about the cheating, probably because Hannah is not aware of all the details. Dave and Samantha never shared much about their affair, but didn't hide the fact that the cheating was happening. I'm not sure what my wife's end game was, and I don't know if I will ever find out. It doesn't even matter anymore because there's no way in hell that I would stay with a cheater. I won't lie, but I didn't have it in me to forgive Hannah either. She was an emotional mess and seemed genuinely remorseful about how she treated me. but it still doesn't sit right with me. Yes, Dave had manipulated her, and Samantha didn't do anything to remedy the situation. I get it that she is a teenager, but I feel like she should have known better. Even her best friend told me that she had warned Hannah that she was making a huge mistake. I went back home that evening and cried my heart out. I knew that I would be losing my family soon. There's no coming back from this. The divorce is going to happen. I actually didn't make an update because I wanted to come here only after I was done filing. I filed yesterday, and the papers will be here soon. Samantha is still blowing up my phone, and so are her parents. Hannah hasn't told them about her talk with me, but I know she will spill the beans fairly soon. So, before she tells her mom that, I wanted to get things in order. I still don't know if I will get a chance to find out more about the affair, but we'll see. I don't see any point in making another update because all of my doubts have been cleared by now. Maybe I will come here and make a post if anyone's interested. Update 4. Okay, I really didn't expect you guys to be so invested in my crappy life. Like I said, I didn't see a point in making another update because I had all my questions answered by my last update. But I received a lot of DMs wanting to know what happened, and some of you have been genuinely concerned about me, since I came off as very stoic in my last post. Since you guys have been so caring about me, I thought you guys deserved to hear what happened later. So this update is for all of you. Thank you so much for extending your support and giving me such good advice. Believe me when I say that I took your comments to heart. I realized long back that I needed to toughen up and stop being caring towards people who were ready to toss me aside anytime they wanted. I saw some comments about trash taking itself out, and boy, it still makes me laugh now. I think you will be happy to know that the trash did take itself out for good, but she didn't make it very easy. Samantha was served with divorce papers not very long after my last update. I think she was surprised and shocked. This stupid woman never thought that I was capable of leaving her. She called me up hysterically about the divorce papers and asked me not to go through with it. She blew up my phone with calls and texts, which I did read and then promptly sent to my lawyers. She basically raged at me for leaving her and then confessed her affair, begging for forgiveness, started to say that cheating wasn't a big deal and it meant nothing. Basically, it was a roller coaster, but I got no enjoyment out of it. The only blessing for me was that we live in an at-fault state, so her cheating confession meant good things for me in the divorce. Eventually, I think she realized that the divorce was going to happen anyway, so she got her own lawyer. We met up to talk about divorce proceedings. On our first meeting, she begged to talk with me just once before we made things final. I agreed to hear her out in front of our lawyers. At that point, I had already gone through all the phases of grief, so I decided to humor her for the last time. She cried and gave me the entire timeline of their affair. According to her, Dave had contacted her and told her that he wanted to get to know Hannah. The duo started to talk and somehow they ended up sleeping together. Sorry, the details are not there because I didn't bother to pay much attention to her rambling. Samantha said that she only wanted her daughter to finally have her bio father in her life and was scared to reintroduce them before checking things for herself. Apparently that included sleeping with the man. Whatever, I guess. It was trashy of her to use Hannah as an excuse for her stupid affair, but I digress. I'm only telling you what I made out of her ramblings. They started an affair and were unable to stop, and by the time the accident happened, Samantha was starting to realize that Dave would never be as good as me to Hannah. But Hannah was in too deep by then, so she didn't want to stir up trouble. She somehow thought that she would be able to keep her affair a secret and let Dave and Hannah have a relationship while I did all the heavy work. After the big blowout, Samantha knew that she was in trouble. She then started to blame me and call me the villain because she didn't want to anger Hannah and risk having her expose the affair. Well, unfortunately for her, it happened anyway. After Dave blocked her and Hannah, she panicked and became desperate to come back to me, but she didn't want to be the one begging. She held strong and was convinced that eventually I would miss them and bring them back. But then Hannah came to me and told me everything. When Samantha had received the divorce papers and gone into shock, Hannah had told her mother that she deserved this for being a cheating witch. They had a huge fight, and now Hannah isn't talking to her at all. Samantha's parents are also not happy with her. They have been insulting and belittling her for letting me slip out of her life. They knew about the affair after Hannah's accident and have been actively trying to make Samantha and Hannah cut Dave out of their lives. They knew that Dave would go running for the hills soon, and Samantha would end up losing me if the truth came out. That's why they had been doubling down on me to make me feel bad so that I would take them back without asking too many questions or trying to find out if something was fishy. Just knowing all this made me lose whatever little respect I had for them. To their credit, they did leave me a message accepting their wrongs and apologizing for their part in this mess. I didn't bother gracing them with a reply. They can go shove their apology where the sun doesn't shine. I said the same to Samantha. I told her that I didn't give a crap about why she did it and didn't need to know any more sordid details. The divorce was going to happen and there was no stopping it. She did try to create some drama and begged endlessly not to end our marriage, but it didn't work. As of now, I am a divorced man. She didn't get any alimony and had to move out of the house because I had it before our marriage. Her parents refused to take her in because Hannah wanted to stay with them and she didn't want to be around her mother anymore. The two of them had a huge falling out, but I'm not aware of all the details. What I do know is that Samantha is all alone now and lost her whole family in one blow. As for Hannah, she did try to keep in touch with me, but I gently told her that I needed to move on. She cried, but eventually understood. She's doing better now, but sources tell me that she is still emotionally rattled by everything. I do feel sad about everything at times, but I think this is all for the best. Right now, I'm concentrating on getting my life back on track and recovering from the divorce and everything. This is going to be my last update because I think I am ready to close this chapter of my life now. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.